Hey everyone, it's Rylan. It's February 5th, 2018 at 8:14 p.m. So for those of you that don't know me and don't watch my videos, hi. Um, Basically a little bit about me is I identify as transgender, specifically gender fluid, which basically means that my gender is not set in stone and that I vary from identifying as male or female, and sometimes I identify as neither or kind of both at the same time. And the way that that gets represented or displayed, I suppose, would be the way in which I dress. So if you look at my channel, I present in a lot of different ways. I mean, this, I guess, is feminine. I don't know. I don't have any makeup on and I'm not wearing like a wig or anything, but whatever. So that is kind of how I identify. I was assigned female at birth, so that's I guess important to know for the purposes of this video, I suppose. But anyway, so fuck the bullshit. We know who I am. What I want to talk about is a very specific situation that I was / still kind of am put in because of my trans identity. So basically, here's the situation, y'all. I just started dating someone new. Hooray! I have a boyfriend. Yay. Which is super great. Also, P.S. I go by he, him, his pronouns. I don't go by they, them, and I don't go by she, her. Specifically, he, him, his. So yeah, that's what makes me feel most comfortable and at home, and I feel represents my identity despite the complexities of how I might present myself in an external way. So yes, I started dating someone and we are boyfriends because I identify kind of as male. And I found myself in a really unfortunate, uncomfortable, uncharted territory situation. That's really confusing to me and kind of makes me feel like shit, and I'm not really happy about it. So basically the situation is this. I am dating this human being. We'll call him C because I don't know that he's comfortable with me saying his name. So I'm dating this guy named C. And the whole point of this video is the necessity, the necessity or need, or I'm not going to say desire because that's not it, but basically the necessity or perceived need of my gender identity needing to be brought up and addressed, and I need to be like outed or like come out to his family. It's really confusing and frustrating because, I mean, the fact of the matter is this. I look and sound like a girl despite being on testosterone for 2 whole years. Yes, this is still like what I look like and sound like. But I look and sound like a girl, and I go by he, him pronouns, and both of us identify as being boyfriends, whereas most people look at me and say like, oh, they're boyfriend and girlfriend. So unfortunately, there is not confusion, but I suppose some type of explanation is needed that when he talks about me, that he's talking about me as his boyfriend and not his girlfriend. And what I've found really frustrating and vulnerable over these past whatever that we've been seeing each other is the fear of rejection that I could face because of whatever his family thinks about trans people. I mean, me trying to explain my gender identity to someone is complicated enough. Having someone else try to explain my gender identity, like, extra double good, like, good luck. But even me trying to understand my gender identity it's so fucking complex, and it's not black and white. It is like purple, red, green. It's everything. And I always say it. I am not a pizza. I don't fit into a box. Like, I am too complex. And so a lot of anxiety has revolved around him having to like come out for me to his family. Most specifically his aunt and his mom And he's not really worried. He's very close with a cousin of his that he's not really worried about. But yeah, it just put me in a really uncomfortable situation because it's like, not only is it scary to have him try and explain how I identify to someone else, but it's just that threat of rejection of what are they going to say? Are they going to be mean to him? Are they going to say, you know, gross, you're dating a trans person, or like you're gay, or whatever they could say, disown him, hate him, kick him out of the house. I mean, there's so many scenarios, and I know to people in the LGBT community, maybe that sounds dramatic, but like, unfortunately, these things happen. These things happen. People get disowned for being trans, but especially for someone to date a trans person. I mean, you look at how the media portrays trans women. It's so fucking negative. Trans women are treated as if they're just men with penises or something like that. That there's all these jokes on TV of, oh, she looked like a girl, insinuating that a trans woman is just a man. So there's all this stigma and hatred around trans people and like around dating trans people. So to be on the receiving end of that is really scary, but then also to have that complexity of being gender fluid and having to explain, not only is he transgender, not only does he look and sound like a girl, but he goes by he, him pronouns. That's just like a mind fuck for a lot of people. Like, that's a lot to try and understand. And it just, I just hate that who I am as a human being needs to be explained to someone, and that I need to worry that I could be judged and hated for who I am. But then also someone that I care about, that they could be judged and hated by their own family just because of who I am and how I identify. And I'll be honest, I don't like using this word, so like, trigger warning, but I was really afraid. Like, I had a very hard night with him one night. I was like crying, and I was just like really scared because I was thinking like, you know, I don't know these people. I don't know what their thoughts of. I know some of his family members are older and have some outdated views, and we've decided that we're not going to tell these people. But, you know, I'm just thinking, like, what if these people are mean to me and like call me a fucking tranny or something like that, and just, you know what I mean? And I don't know. It just, what I'm trying to say is, me having to come out to someone is like one thing, you know what I mean? Whatever it is. Because I basically have to out myself a lot because of my pronouns. If I went by they, them, or she, her, like, I wouldn't have to say shit. But because my pronouns greatly differ from how the outside world perceives me, that's one thing on its own for me having to do that. But to have someone talk on my behalf is really confusing. And I'm not saying that he doesn't understand it and that, you know, whatever. I mean, he's completely understanding, but it's just like, you know, what if he doesn't explain it 100% accurately? And like, I don't know. So I just wanted to talk about this because this is uncharted territory, and it was never anything that I ever thought would have to happen, that I would have to be explained to someone and then beyond that be judged and judged and deemed whether or not that's acceptable or not. And I think that's a really not fun situation to be in. And it just, I don't know that I necessarily have a question to pose, but I just, for all the trans people out there, it's just like, I just wish that I could stand alone as a human being and who Rylan is as a person and judge me on that. Like, judge me if I'm a fucking asshole or like I steal puppies from, you know, the mall. Like, be mad at me for that. But like, to think that I could be judged or that he could be hated for deciding to date me just because of my gender identity is a really unfair, uncomfortable burden to have to feel. And I just never considered that. I never considered that in terms of dating someone. I always just thought the person I'm dating has to be okay with me being trans. But then to think, that they have to explain who I am to their family is just a whole other thing. So I wanted to make a video about this because it's been bothering me, and I think it's important. I think it's really important. So there we have it, y'all. I hope you have an amazing day, and thank you so much for watching. All right, bye.